Hey, welcome to Socialism for All. Today's date is Monday, October 2nd, 2023, and I have a quick one for you today. Some good news, some bad news, and a call to action to help to keep this channel going. As you know, I work my ass off doing this channel, and it's been very time-consuming for me over the past 3.5 years that I've been doing it. Therefore, and especially as I don't want to run ads on the channel or do sponsorships, keeping it non-commercial and viewer-supported, the financial contributions from Patreon have been crucial for me to be able to put in the time that it takes to run things. Unfortunately, midday on Thursday last week, I got an email from Patreon's Trust and Safety team informing me that the page had, quote, been linked to, quote, suspicious activity. This was actually literally one day after receiving an invitation to the Patreon Ambassador program. You can't make this up. I truly do not know what being, quote, linked to suspicious activity means. And you watching this video now and reading the email from them that I'm putting up on the screen have exactly as much information about this as I do, which is to say almost none at all. I am currently working with the Patreon Trust and Safety team to try to get this sorted out, so hopefully the page will be restored in the coming days or weeks, and for all I know, it might be done by the end of the day today. But so far, since February 2020 when I launched this YouTube channel, I've had over 300 individual patrons, and there were about 160 active patrons contributing a total of almost $1,000 a month last week. I've also regularly used the DM system on Patreon to answer questions, field reading or news suggestions from dedicated supporters, many of which have ended up in the live streams or being done as audiobooks, and I would hate to lose that well-established system and history. However, ultimately it's not in my hands, and the best I can do for now is try to play ball with Patreon Trust and Safety, answer their questions, and see if I can get the account restored. As of right now, I really have no idea what set this off, what triggered the AI bots that monitor the accounts. I have a couple of wild guesses based on the reading that I've been able to do online, mostly on the Reddit forum for Patreon, because this just isn't well documented. What does Patreon consider suspicious or fraudulent? From what I've read, it can be a wide range of what I would consider to be utterly normal things, such as somebody dropping in for 1 month, making a one-time donation, and then stopping their support for a while, or somebody supporting at a higher tier and then dropping down to a lower tier. Really. So while the system has been useful up to now, and the support has been fantastic, and thank you all very much for that, ultimately, Patreon is Patreon, and they look out for Patreon, and if a creator that actually hasn't done anything weird or suspicious gets swept up in this, well, they're just covering their own ass. So I get it to a point, but ultimately, not really a good system, in my opinion. Anyway, in the meantime, this really couldn't have come at a worse time. It was 1.5 business days before my Patreon billing cycle was set to renew, which is the first of the month, or yesterday. So even if the account is restored, which hopefully will be the outcome, and honestly, I don't know why it wouldn't be, except if just something unfair happens and I wind up dealing with, some kind of unaccountable, bureaucracy that's just sending me form messages. I think if I'm able to talk to a person, we should be able to clear this up pretty easily. Again, I haven't done anything different on the account in years, so whatever flagged this, I don't know. But bottom line, I don't know if I'm going to be getting the October payment. And again, that had been averaging about, $900 to $1,000 a month in the last 6 months. To me, that's a significant amount of money, and I have come to rely on it. I'm always saying I would upload some content even if no one supported, but I'm only able to spend this much time on it, i.e. not pursuing other income to pay bills and everything because of that financial support. So I've come to rely on it. Losing it would be a setback. So to that end, the good news is that I have set up an account at BuyMeACoffee.com/socialismforall, and that account not only handles the recurring monthly payments like Patreon does, but it also allows for one-time tip jar type donations. And I guess unlike Patreon, it doesn't consider those suspicious, if what I've read is correct. So I of course prefer the recurring contributions because it lets me plan my budget from month to month, and overall it's more stable. But people had actually been asking for a one-time payment option for quite a while, so now you have it and it's easy. I know that there are other options out there as well, like Ko-fi.com, camaraderie, and LiberaPay. But for right now, buymeacoffee.com/socialismforall is the best option for me. But it is possible that I will add some of those possibly in the future. So anyway, to all of the supporters and especially past and present patrons, if you could, here's the call to action, head over to buymeacoffee.com/socialismforall and transfer your membership there, or at least kick in a tip for this month. I would appreciate it a lot. Right now, my monthly budget is coming up about $1,000 short of what I expected. So again, that link is buymeacoffee.com/socialismforall. It's actually right on the new graphic on the screen, and I will link it in the description and in the pinned comment. In closing, the Patreon glitch is not something I would have wished to have happen, but now we have a second payment option set up, and we're going to keep going from here. And now that we're moving into fall as well, I'm also going to be hitting the audiobooks a lot harder than I did over the summer, so you can expect that Rosa Luxemburg series to resume, along with other good texts and surprises. So thanks again to everyone who supports, and whatever you can chip in is needed and would be very helpful to me right now. While this channel started out as shitposting memes on Facebook and my own personal desire to read more Marxism, the community that has sprung up around this channel has made what we're doing here so much more important and more vital and more informed and richer. You have taught me so much, and I just sincerely appreciate that, as I was saying in the extended patron tribute that we're just doing at the beginning of, I think it was livestream 106 a couple of weeks ago. The impact so far has been huge. We're going to keep that going. I, again, cherish that network, part of which we were coordinating again through Patreon, through the DMs and whatever. But whether or not the Patreon account gets restored, and again, I hope it will be, we are going to move on. You can still message me on Twitter or Discord or Mastodon or Reddit or Blue Sky if they ever get DMs going. And again, one last time, that new payment link, buymeacoffee.com/socialismforall. I really count on that support. I have so much more material I want to do on this channel and keep the live streams going and everything, but I do need your help. So again, hit me up at buymeacoffee.com/socialismforall. I really, over the last 3.5 years, wound up building my life around doing this channel, at least in part. You know, what I do week to week, I'm thinking about this channel constantly and devoting massive hours to it. The financial contributions are part of that flow, so let's keep it going. Thanks again. This wound up being longer than I expected, but I appreciate you listening to the end. This is an awkward thing for me to do. I'm not really a sort of grants and fundraising person, but the work that we're doing here is something that I'm willing to fight to continue to see funded.